High Res Expo, remember, tickets are on sale now, so go grab yours. For set 2 of the day, though, I'm alongside Pretty Hair here on the desk. And Nick, we got a pretty similar matchup to the first one. We got a 4-1 Clownfiesta going against a 1-4 Blazing Hussars.
The flip and the flop.
Needing to find some momentum.
Every flip needs a good flop.
Yeah, you can't flip. It'd be
There's,
it's like two right-footed sandals. Right.
flip, dude. You just like hopping along, like crip walking in your flip-flops. I imagine that'd be pretty tough to do.
It just doesn't work.
No.
It just doesn't work. But we imagine more of the same potentially coming from this matchup. Hussars have shown some success in the past, but Clownfiesta is just a really good team.
Yeah, similar how I think those two are going back and forth at the top with Sour Team and Clownfiesta. I think All Business and Blazing Hussars have sort of done that at the bottom. So they got to look for, I think, their stars to have those big impacts if they want to have a chance here today.
And one of the stars to look at, of course, is the young Doodle, a Bomb King aficionado, constantly making us say his names in these games. And like you said, I mean, that's kind of who I think the Hussars need to look at. They need to lean on. He's experienced. He's obviously very technically skilled. So are the rest of them. But in all these games, he's going to be the one that you really look at to make the kill impact and really make the damage impact. And I think you'd agree that that's where All Business kind of need to turn to.
Absolutely. He's got to have a big – there's no chance.
Hussars.
There's already a slim chance. There is no chance if Doodle does not show up to play here today. Got to be the guy. And he's really kind of always had to be the guy. That is a star player, but that's not – the be-all, end-all, right? He's had good performances. That was pretty much his story on Mouse Sports. Is like he's always doing pretty well, but they're still losing. You still need a team. You still need the other 4 guys to show up and do their jobs as well.
Absolutely. And looking on the flip side, you have Clownfiesta, K Cruncy's a guy who you need to consider on their lineup as well. And you know they have 5 perfectly capable players, just the same as the Blazing Hussars do, but Cruncy's kind of a guy who, again, in the same vein as Doodle, like you can win with him having kind of a mediocre game, but if he's really on fire, especially on a champion like Ruckus, it's almost harder to lose with him playing that well than it would be to win.
Yeah, we didn't see any Ruckus last set, but you best believe that it's going to be coming out in this one for sure. Clownfiesta, I think we'll be very aware of this. K Cruncy coming back into the fold last week, his suspension only lasting, I don't know, a couple of weeks, I guess, at that point. So he comes back in. That was really the big moment where I'm like, well, this is, if anything, the best chance somebody has at taking down Clownfiesta because they're going to be in transition. Once they get him firmly, planted back into the roster, that's when they're going to be really most scary. And I was a little bit wrong there. I think, that's a guy that had been there, had been such a big part of the team. And I think even while suspended was still probably a big force, probably talking, watching scrims, that sort of thing. So it really wasn't too big of a deal for him to kind of come back in for them to hit their full stride really, really quickly.
Let's take a quick look at map number 1, Jaguar Falls. Same as last set as well. So Clownfiesta are going to look to get on the right foot on a map like this. And do you think Clownfiesta, or excuse me, the Blazing Hussars, look at that Ruckus as either we pick it or we ban it in this game because Cruncy is so good on it?
I don't know that they'll be banning it. Ruckus has been banned before.
Yeah, not really ban-worthy, but
he's always been like a Cassie ban, like an A+. He's that slot this in ban. We've really, this meta in this season at least, had 3 characters, and you see him here, Torvald, Makoa, and Khan on PC anyway, that are banned out all the time. Then you have like your +1. There was a little bit of that Cassie, a lot of Pip last set as well, and Nara this time around, but Hussars are going to go with the first pick, Barrack. With so many frontliners gone, Clownfiesta have got to be scooping Ruckus here.
Yeah, and Barrack last set, and honestly, much to your sadness, over the last few weeks, Barrack has like really come into play as one of those guys who you first or second pick, depending on how you look at it. Ash and Cassie are going to be number 1 and 2 off the board here for Clownfiesta. So the Hussars with a chance here to
just can't stay away
kind of decide which direction they want to go. They're going to go the Fernando direction, so they want to just clean up their front line at this point. And honestly, in a way, maybe leave Clownfiesta guessing as to who their damage dealers are going to be. I mean, you haven't really shown your hand yet.
Yeah.
all you pick is a Barrack, Fernando, Grover. There's still lots you can do.
Well, at this point, they forsake the Genos, so that's going to be something Clownfiesta have. So they could pair. I would take Bomb King Genos here if I were them. You don't want to let Hussars get too tanky. I think they're already probably going to be looking at Tyra because Tyra's going to pull everyone's damage up on this team, and they do have very low damage right now. So they could be going for something like a Tyra
look how
Zin.
hard you're trying. How embarrassing.
Curious to see where they end up.
I like the Pip, though, and I think he's been pretty contested. I think almost entirely banned in our last set.
Yeah, I think every game.
Not even making his way through even once, whether he was banned or just not picked. I can't remember for one of those games, but Pip is kind of coming to the limelight. I know Gore's a huge fan of the Pip. I mean, for good reason. He provides such utility. A good evil mojo can flip an entire fight on its head. Especially, I mean, I imagine Simsaloo will be the guy playing this on the side of Clownfiesta. So that'll be
bringing out the big guns.
Not necessarily a knife edge kind of one way or the other, but you get the ruckus as well. Clownfiesta have a pretty good lineup.
There is a lot of damage on this Clownfiesta lineup. Hussars round out with an okay last two for sure. The Zin is going to be a little bit on his own and not a ton of great targets with the amount of kind of spot healing Pip's going to be able to provide. And Simsaloo is just so good on this pick. It feels like Clownfiesta is a bit too comfortable top to bottom for me.
Yeah, Clownfiesta definitely have a comfortable 5 champions on their side. The Blazing Hussars, though, have a lineup that they'll probably feel pretty comfortable about as well. We're about to get into game number 1 here. Clownfiesta looking to make it 5-1. Blazing Hussars trying to get something going. Let's send it down to Evan and Gore to get it underway.
Well, we are underway here. It is me and Gore, the party boys, back at it again, starting with some music and getting to see a little Pip.
You know the real party?
What?
It is Simsaloo's Pip.
Hey.
It is Simsaloo playing Pip.
That's the real party we got invited to.
I think this is going to be a good example for Blazing Hussars, why you should maybe take some notes from the last set and ban out Pip. It's also going to be a good example of why Pip is really well. Now, Simsaloo, now that I've said that, please.
Please, don't suck.
Do not do the thing that always happens when I mention how good something is.
Yeah, and you know what? Really smart play.
Knock on wood here.
950 there for the Catalyst shot. Oh, he just got surrounded.
Well, you know.
He got surrounded. It was a great flank from Defit, and now Ovum is in trouble. I don't think Simsy thought that was going to go down.
You can't win them all.
Yeah, he can.
Whether he has it in Defit.
Didn't
actually
win that
coming
one.
through. That has been clean. That was a clean, just 3-man swing, I guess, coming down from this Zen. Coming around the back, making sure to get rid of the Pip. Like, that's a high priority target. And then systematically eliminating the front lines for the side of Blazing Hussars. And this is something I said last week and I actually didn't expect to see here. Blazing Hussars have been getting better. I didn't know if it was going to be enough to take down Clownfiesta and Sour Team yet, but they have been taking strides every single week. And this is looking really good.
I mean, they've got it touched, and apparently they do have the overtime. Trying, obviously, not to get hit. Andrew slides. It's a little close, but Ovum has lasted so much longer than I think they wanted. And now Clownfiesta are in control of the point. Ovum already has half his health back because he's just staring at a Fernando, and it forces Surretts out there, so Arrays needs to start making a big play here. I think that was the whirlwind from Grover. It was. He's rocking that Grobot skin, so it sounds a little different. Simsaloo is back in action and already has eyes on Kamaker. 840, doesn't have the Luminary mark yet, but he's going to get it, and now he's going to start hurting even more.
And it seems even with an early death, it does actually come up about a minute and a half. This time I think maybe a little longer because he was dead for a little bit. But, I mean, 2:15, that thing comes online. Now he's able to get a lot of damage. Pip does so much and actually narrowly avoids death right here, dancing back and forth. But that time he dances too far.
Wow, and Simsy, I don't know what it is. It feels like they're just a little bit out of sync. Great stuff from Blazing Hussars. They win the first point, and very much earnestly, this was Clownfiesta not looking themselves, and Blazing Hussars coming out blazing in point number 1.
I mean, I have to give shout-outs really to Andrew Doodle. The way he's been playing this, I mean, very early on, he's been taking fights that I feel normally we wouldn't see out of a Leon, or at least out of this team and a Leon, where he's been getting aggressive. He's been feeling more confident in it, and once you have a Leon player that's feeling confident and hitting their shots,
that's true.
That is the formula for a bad time on the other side.
It is a formula for a bad time. And Arrays also needs to get involved in this action. Crunchy finding a couple of kills onto the front lines in the Ruckus, but seemingly having a hard time. And it could be the Leon, it could be the Baron. It's pretty easy to hit that big, very kind of tanky champion. And so the sustain could be the issue. Tutu doing a very good job, very seasoned veteran on the front line.
shots are going to be good. Again, I'm just going to have to keep pointing it out. About a minute and a half later, this Pip is able to charge up the ult, and it's one of the things that makes him so good. And Evil Mojo at this point in the round, you're probably not going to see it unless things get really, really hairy or Simsalute gets really, really greedy. There's there's one of two extremes, and that's they're either about to lose a 2-0 or he just really, really sees a nice spot to ult.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think at this point, too, you could definitely have a strong ult and just even a 1v1. I think Simsy needs to figure out how he wants to utilize this because there's a couple of moments where that ult's going to work, and there's a couple of moments where, you know, if they smell it out, an Enlightenment could be used in response from Metadoodle to stay alive. And like we saw, that really was the big difference in damage that put Simsy under pressure in that final point fight when it was 99-99.
And there's a lot of moments, especially actually on the side of Blazing Stars, there's a lot of just general immunity that will help them get through an Evil Mojo. You have to make sure not only Enlightenment, but then you have to look at that Immortal. You have to look at kind of Whirlwind. Like, you have to figure out where exactly can I put this Evil Mojo in a chance where they're going to die. Like, I can get them into chickens, and then if I don't kill them, they're not going to immediately get healed up by this Gerber. Like, I need to make sure there's ultimate lockdown, and it feels like Blazing Stars have kind of drafted very carefully around that. But Clownfiesta do have the 1-2 tap, the Evil Mojo into the Rockets.
Wow.
And so as long as they can kind of keep this pressure going, like if they can keep this amount of damage up for a point fight, then it's looking solid.
And Array's going in for the blast shot, Cassie, the Impulse. You don't really see that anymore. And to be honest, you know, I understand why, due to the fact that there isn't a great target in the Barrack or in the Fernando because the shield is up all the time and he's got the dash. And there's good sustain in it as well. And maybe that's really where it shifts, Score, because, you know, we see some of this blast shot-oriented build. You can have sustain that Bolka maybe needs to augment the ability for you to stay in these fights because he's not bringing the same level of healing as Surrett's as far as burst.
And this is actually one of the things that, at least in my eyes, has always kind of brought Cassie out. She is so versatile.
Yeah.
And she has essentially 3 talents that are going to work if you are willing to play them and play around them. And Array's being able to bring in, again, more blast shot oriented, very self-sustain. I can get my damage, get my cooldowns off. Like, this is attempting, not necessarily a full reset build, but I'm going to shoot you, heal, and then I should at that point only have 1 crossbow bolt that really needs to be hit. In conjunction with a Ruckus, the Genos Luminary, and the Pip means you should be picking up kills pretty consistently.
Yeah, man, I think this consistency is what Blazing Stars have brought to the table, but need to bring to it now because that last round looked uncharacteristic, and this one looks much more in line with the script. Clownfiesta finding a 2, make it 3 in quick succession and in delayed fashion as well. So it's going to be a pretty hard point for Blazing Stars to win.
And honestly, I was going to start writing that one off. I was like, man, that Evil Mojo comes through, it hits 2, and none of them die while they're chickens. And then both of them just died a little later.
Exactly.
They had to pop out of the chicken, get scared, and then run away. And that was what it is the chicken positioning, I guess, kind of freaks you out. It separates you from your team because you're trying to hide. You're trying to get out of there.
Right.
And so it is easy to collapse on you. And, of course, the other side of that coin is, much like when we mentioned if you kill 2 people with a through time and space, if your Zen kills 3 people in the first round and then doesn't kill anybody in the second round, like, can you rely on that, like, double kill, triple kill performance every time?
Sure, this is a little bit mayhem. They need Simsy here because he's the one who could have collapsed and capitalized on that grouping. Everyone was down. The Immortal was forced. And that's something that was really, really early, and he just want to stay alive and stabilize. But this duel is going the way of Simsy, and now things are looking very dangerous on the side of Blazing Stars. They may not be able to hold this for too long.
You've got Moxie, kid.
You've got Moxie, kid.
He keeps himself alive. That's, I think, my favorite line with Pip, and that's because that card on the left, Moxie 5, is in every Pip loadout unless it's Mega Potion. And even then, you might see a low level of Moxie and a Mega Potion Pip loadout. But if someone's running Mega Potion Pip, you probably got more troubles going on than what's in their loadout. That Moxie is what keeps him alive and keeps him in, like, 1v1 scenarios.
Yeah.
But it's also really good for those moments where it's like, I'm not even doing this for me. Like, I'm going to heal you up, but, like, I'm still getting better healing. Like, I'm still going to be able to, like, make sure I'm safe in a lot of scenarios. Pip's just so versatile right now.
Yeah, he does a ton of damage as well. I think that's part of it, just this flexibility. And being a blaster, you know, that AoE pressure that he provides. With an ultimate of time. One for the ages, that's for sure. Simsy on an 11 streak, and things have shifted dramatically towards Clownfiesta's favor. 53 seconds, though, on the clock. Still has a bit of time. Going to go for the wait list. damage onto Toot. I don't know if the shield has come back up. That Immortal not yet charged up, and a good shot on a Defit who bites off a little more than he could chew. Another double kill here. He's getting Genos healing plus Moxie healing himself. And this is just bad news bears. This should be a push.
That Pip is honestly in a corner like that, even though there were more members of the team all around. That was very much like, you're locked in here with me, I'm not locked in here with you. There are two people who are trying so hard to just kill him off. You've got 400 health, and he just stays alive the entire time. Like, he gets incredibly close, but you can kind of see, like, Simsalou recognizes I'm getting enough healing, I don't need to worry about it. And, like, that level of confidence in Bolka and himself is something that you only get when you're, in Clownfiesta's shoes, when you are one of the top teams in Europe right now. That very feasibly, depending on how, the PPL keeps going, you could take down at least number 8, maybe number 7. Like, you have a good chance to fight upwards as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 100%. And Simsy getting 950 per shot, I mean, that's just disastrous in that blast radius. That AoE is just so much damage. And it's very, very hard. And like we saw when this is being run, with Ninu having a blaster pressure, whoever's on that Cassie just gets a little bit of a free pass to go ahead and get a couple of shots that no one's paying attention to. This is almost the perfect time for a Hexafire. Holy moly. Crunchy with a triple kill. That was absolute demolition. And Simsy with the mobility, he's just going to try and skirt away from Kamaker. He'll make it out. Raze comes in to make the big plays, and Clownfiesta looking to close it out.
I'm trying to catch up on everything that just happened.
He turned him into a chicken.
He turned him into a chicken while his shield was up, so that he couldn't, you didn't have to burn down the shield and his health bar. You just had to kill the chicken, and he didn't have time to get the Immortal also, even though he has that charge. It was just very well played as a team. And the great thing about it is that, if you're looking at Simsalou, he's still getting the damage done. He doesn't even need the Evil Mojo to find the kills. The 20 streak is still burning hot. But this time they did have to leave at least a little bit of room on the point.
Yeah, Kamaker took down Simsy. That was a bit of a bad... I mean, he stayed way too long for the Immortal. Didn't have the explosive blast damage. What looked so good for them really didn't. The management of the cooldowns and pressure choice. It was a rough one. Now Blazing Hussars have plenty of ultimates. They've got 4, and Clownfiesta have absolutely nothing. But they all get hit by a huge blast shield, and it's going to be Ovum who pile drives in. Crunchy, though, gets taken down. Ovum isolated. Someone's got to stand on the point, and no one can. Erase finding the fit, but Tutu finding 2. Finding 3, looking to maybe make it 4, but it's going to be Blazing Hussars who keep this one going.
And that was 2 things in tandem. One is comeback mechanic, and then the last fight from Clownfiesta, that was so sporadic. Crunchy runs in, dies. Then Ovum runs in, dies. And then you're left with Simsalou, Erase, Bolka. Bolka ends up dying even though he didn't run in. Erase didn't run in, but Simsalou, everyone wanted to touch down, but it just seemed so disorganized, jumping in, just one by one, literally marching to their doom.
And credit to take an advanced, Immortal and to do that in a way where it gave Surette and him the chance to be around, still do damage, and also distract. Simsy didn't just pull back and didn't try to regroup, knowing that they'd have to take another chance at it. They couldn't fully win this fight now. But it was enough to really turn the tide here, and it gives the fit, and it gives Kamaker and the rest of the boys another chance. I try and tie this thing up.
And that's the glorious thing about gaining that point, right? Clownfiesta already at 3. You literally can't give them another point from a defense, so if you lose this, who cares?
Yeah.
You are able to go in and you get at least one more fight on the point no matter what.
9:30.
Unfortunately, now you have to figure out what's going wrong. I think the numbers you're pointing out are very apt because it's not necessarily Pip that's doing all the trouble, although he is definitely troublesome. That Genos behind him, if they can get rid of Bolka early on, it makes it a lot easier to deal with Erase and Simsy to try and just take them down early enough.
782, 930 on the Catalyst. Cassie and Pip absolutely just, making life hard. And it seems that there does have to be a little bit of a slow start for Clownfiesta today. I think there were moments where they could have put this away already, but Blazing Stars doing a good job keeping things under pressure. Toot on that right side with the triple kill on the Fernando. You don't see that too much nowadays, especially since Scorch is gone. A relic of the past.
Yep. I mean, what we have going on here, and this feels very, very similar to the first game last set. I think in Europe, and this was something I had said last week, where I was like, I didn't expect it to be the more separated region where there's there's a 1 and 2, and then there's a 3 and 4. There's a big gap between them. It definitely seemed like it was going to be very competitive. Clownfiesta, and I should really say Blazing Hussars and All Business are very easy to underestimate. They're very easy to think, oh, well, you know, like, I mean, Sour Team's the only team that's been taking games off of us.
Right.
We're obviously going to win this matchup. And then you get into it, and you're like, oh, these guys are pretty good. Like, if we don't take them seriously, they will beat us. And I feel like that's that first round adjustment of, oh, we need to step up to the next level. Like, we need to play this at our best, not even saying that Clownfiesta are goofing around, but like, like,
no, for sure.
You have to be at that level already. You can't come in and warm up.
I mean, personalities in this team, you know, I don't know how they mesh because Ovim, pretty straightforward, but he's got a good-natured kind of look going on. Kamika's always struck me as a bit more of a serious type individual. And then Simsy's definitely a goofball. So I don't know who's dominating the mentality there because there's definitely the potential for the goofball to go down. However, that was really a mistake. You see that awesome play, but you go into an assert dominance, a Hexafire, and an Evil Mojo to pick up those kills. I mean, you probably didn't need all of those.
That
I think
sounds like
900.
set up to a joke.
Yeah, you know,
assert dominance, a Hexafire, and an Evil Mojo walk into a bar.
Exactly. But you didn't need all of that, and I think now they'll probably utilize those resources a little bit more appropriately in order to get this win.
And immediately they make the call of, let's just go for the point. Get rid of the guy on the point. You get rid of the dome shield. And it doesn't, honestly, to me, matter if you get the kill onto Barrack or if you kill the turret. Either one's going to work.
My goodness.
Burns through either the timer or the shield. Either way, they get rid of Kamika's.
And that's much better because you get it through time and space. You get a scout for the information. You get a Hexafire to solo the Barrack. And you burn his dome shield as well. This is the right fight. This is what should have happened last time. They just kind of blew their all their resources, so to speak. And now this will be the end of the game, almost assuredly. Enlightenment will delay the inevitable. And Clownfiesta, they're going to take game number 1 here over Blazing Hussars.
And again, kind of gradually getting cleaner as the game goes on. That's kind of what I expect out of the set. I feel like that's going to be the way Clownfiesta are. I think that first point was they knew what they had. They're mechanically acceptable, or well, good. They're gifted, but they weren't playing as a full team just yet. And that last team fight was, all right, this is how we do it. Again, kind of what you said, like whoever's dominating, whatever personality, they came out on top.
All right, well, game 1 wraps up. Send it back to the desk. Get ready for game 2.
We actually have moved on to our second set of the day, despite it being the exact same start as what we saw in the first set of the day. 4-2 in map area.
How long do you think it
count.
would take people to notice if we just played the same
set
over and over and over? Just change the names?
Well, what we need is Serpent Beach next and a 4-1 win for Clownfiesta to be the same exact match. So look out for that. But Clownfiesta, again, similarly to our first game, looked really great. They put the pressure in the right position. Simsaloo on the Pip, I think, is a big talking point you have to look at.
Absolutely. This is a character that can be so difficult to deal with. And you know, Simsaloo is going to make it that way in a lot of ways. Running the Moxie 5 as well, having a lot of opportunity for life. So this was the moment where almost like, how does he live? You see these big chunking 227 per shots that he is healing himself for with the lifesteal on slow targets. It's one of the most important cards about Pip's loadout in combination with Moxie, which is you receiving more healing from all sources when you're below half HP, of which, of course, he was. So Pip, you know, he ends up having somewhere north of 3,000 effective health, maybe even 4,000 if you're really doing the math and getting a lot of lifesteal and value out of all your cards.
And I think one thing that's important to look at is the Evil Mojos weren't bad by any means, but they weren't like the talking point for Pip this game. That's normally why we look at Pip. It's like, oh, an Evil Mojo, it hits enough people, it changes an entire fight. This is literally everything else about Pip's kit that's really strong as well. It didn't need the Evil Mojo to feel the same amount of impact that we saw from some of the PPL guys last week. So now this raises the question for the Hussars. Now that Simsy has shown that he can play Pip to this level, is that something you almost consider banning out or picking away at this point, because that's such a potentially high damage, high pressure champion to deal with?
Yeah,
maybe throws a wrench in the mix.
What are they banning? Nara, I think. So I think you can get rid of
left,
I think they abandoned Nara. So yeah, that is something I think you can look at. He's very, very versatile, and it's an extremely good character for Simsaloo. I don't know if they're operating at this level, but they might be saying, you know, we can let him get Pip instead of wanting him to get the Bomb King.
Sure,
Could be one way that they're looking to go, but I think Pip with Luminary is just just as good, but for different reasons than Luminary Bomb King is. You know, Pip gets pushed upwards towards that 900 damage per shot mark, which becomes very, very close to what Bomb King is doing, and that becomes a bigger conversation. Well, this guy has, you know, arguably better mobility and a self-heal, so it can be very difficult to deal with at times, and a lot of the same reasons. Just almost a flank presence, right, in that support role. He's such a very unique character, even to be categorized as a support.
And you can't forget about Erase. He was on the Cassie. He went like 15-2 or something like that. So
that helps as well.
That also helps your team prosper. It is going to be a different set. We're not playing the same one from day number 1, or from match number 1. We have Frog Isle as our second map here of the day. The Cassie ban is going to come out from Clownfiesta, as well as the Khan ban. Makoa Torvald are the final 2. So now it's on Clownfiesta to kind of be in the driver's seat here, and the Hussars are going to have 2 picks to set which direction they want to go. I know that Pip is something
let's fight.
Maybe not as huge here on Frog Isle, but kind of can be made to work anywhere. But the snipers is pretty much the standard story that you kind of look at. None of them are banned out here, so all the possibilities still on the board.
You trust
yeah, with both of them still open,
stranger.
I don't know if anyone's going to be in a rush to grab them.
Right.
Most people prefer Kinessa over Strix, so that could be one way. If one of them is going to pick this sniper first, it's probably likely to be her, just for a couple reasons. Last season she was a little bit more meta. With the Eagle Eye talent, you were able to one-shot most of your 2200 HP targets. Steady aim is still very, very good this season, though, and I think that's a lot easier for people to leverage. We saw Tenor, though, popping off with Strix, showing that he can easily still be in the running for a top contender in the snipe category. And that's snipers should probably always be that way. It's a very hit your shot or don't type of character. I don't think there ever will be a sniper design that has a kit surrounding the sniper rifle that is so overwhelmingly positive that it takes away from the fact that it's a sniper character and that's why you want it.
I do like the way Clownfiesta have looked at this. They actually picked the Eevee as well as the Kinessa. Eevee is one of the frequent kind of counters to snipers on this map, so taking that off the board I think is smart on their part. Realizing that Strix is available, the Hussars go Ruckus and Damba if they want to go with Strix, but you get the Genos as well as the Eevee and the Kinessa. Clownfiesta have a very strong 5 here. The question is whether the Hussars choose to go the Strix route. I think.
Take a good look.
I go Sky. That's an interesting lineup.
I was gonna say Bomb King, but I'm down.
You like the Sky?
I don't dislike it, and I think this is the type of thing. I'll be honest. I think this is the type of thing that the Blazing Hussars need to do if they're gonna have a chance.
They got to throw a wrench in the mix. Clownfiesta, a bit more traditional of a Frog Isle matchup or lineup. Excuse me. Hussars throwing something new into the mix. Evan, Gore, tell us what you think.
Well, I think this is going to be a heck of a game. And it's going to be on Frog Isle.
I agree. And I'm also interested because Sky. And, you know, it's not Mondays. This is a minor league Sky lock-in. This is not your typical, I guess, console.
Right.
Even on Frog Isle, she doesn't get picked up that often. This is something that is pretty big. She does a ton of damage, but she's isolated pretty easily. I don't know how she's going to fare.
You don't know how she's going to fit. Will she defit in their lineup?
Will she defit in the lineup?
You
I missed
really
it.
missed
that was
that
a low-hanging apple.
That was the low-hanging apple. I really expect you to do it, and you didn't. And I'm disappointed.
Well,
does that answer your question?
She doesn't defit on the map.
She doesn't defit on the scoreboard yet, except in the deaths column. That's for sure. But Simsaloo doing a good job pressuring out. A raise on this Kinessa is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Tough to deal with.
With Sky in this matchup, I think one of the things I was thinking was you need someone who can get back to Kinessa. You need a flank. And then they locked in Sky, and I'm like, well, maybe a different flank. Because the only problem with Sky in that scenario is she has to get through, preferably invisible. She can do that until Illuminate gets bought up. But you also have to get through the front lines and the Eevee to get to this Kinessa. Like, you need someone who could just bypass them instead of hoping for the best. This is going to be the person who can break down that wall, but it's just 2 walls that you have to go through.
It's really going to be up to...
because of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough lineup, no doubt about it. There's really a very difficult kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. Good Ice Storm from Simsy. He's trying to just, like, isolate Andrew Doodle. And I think what's interesting is the triple front line is something that clearly minor league teams saw. It worked this weekend for NIP. NIP stole the show. They beat NB. They had these incredible performances. And people are trying to see, how does this work? What can we do this? Is it just NIP? Is it us? You know, I don't think this works for Blazing Hussars. And it may not just work on this map. It could work in other situations. But the Frog Isle, the lack of burst and the true competency of the Eevee and Simsy and Arrays on the Kinessa, there's such little wiggle room to actually succeed. It's going to go a lot like this, in my opinion.
Did we mention that Simsalu's good? I feel like that's definitely worth mentioning. Him and Arrays as a damage duo,
it's a good duo,
have
man.
grown so much in these few weeks. Like, the way that they've been able to kind of work in tandem here. I mean, even right there, just you get one shot down, I get a little bit of damage down. You finish him off, or we both get him low enough that maybe an Oppressor Mine can kill him. Like, you don't have to worry as much about the last hit between these two because they're not worried about, am I getting the kill or you getting the kill? It's just, they're going to die. Like, if I get in danger, I can just get out and you're going to clean up.
You know, he could have thought about an Ice Storm there, Gore. I don't know if he wants to do it yet. He's going to wait until his Blink gets back on cooldown because he doesn't like the position. He's going to Ice Block pretty early, actually. And go for just the isolation onto the sky. It's going to find the kill. Crunchy actually will finish it off. But Arrays has had full opportunities to just aim down sights and laser in with the steady aim. He misses, unfortunately, onto Surretts, who's on the Damba. But he's got a good line of sight onto the Barrack. And he's going to activate the Headhunter. He hits one crit, hits another, but no one goes down until Bolka, with a through time and space, finds Kamiker.
And just being able to put it into that position, this is one of those areas, and again, I think we've mentioned this in the past when Triple Frontline was kind of on the rise.
Yeah.
If you are a team that is ahead, or if you're on a team where it can work, or on a map, I guess, where it can work, then you will be winning that match no matter what.
Right.
In fact, you might actually slow yourself down by going Triple Frontline, or it might just be the thing you need to be able to solidify it. If you are behind, there's a chance this can happen where it's just like you have what is necessary to make it work, but the other team is just, this is foot to throat. This is pure aggression. This is what it looks like when Clownfiesta are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, firing on all cylinders indeed. 2-0 goes the score. Simsalu and Arrays.
They call him old 2-0 Simsy.
They call him 2-0 Simsy. Because of the amount of deaths he has after round ones always, and the 2 O's in his name. Rather complex reason why they gave him that nickname. I doesn't really follow, but I'll go with it. Gore.
In 15 seconds.
Just like the good 309 Ovim.
Yes, the 309 Ovim. Because of that time, he had 309 Cokes successively.
I was thinking because he, at this point, has 309 probably Inara ults.
Well,
if not more.
Simply coincidental, Gore. It was really that crazy night where he just drank 300+ Cokes in a row. Capped out at 309.
That seems like a bad idea.
Didn't see him for a week after that, we'll say.
He probably died.
He probably did.
This is actually Zombie Ovim playing.
But you can't do something average and get a great nickname like that.
Seems like, I guess, the best phrase, you can't do something average. That was a little bit average coming from Simsalu, but he still doesn't get punished for it. I was actually going to ask if Illuminate was going to be worthwhile, but I don't think Defit's doing enough to make it seem like it's a big enough threat that you truly need to close in on this Skye and figure out where she is. I don't think I've seen her survive past a ramp in about, well, 6 minutes.
And that's why it's called Defit. Didn't Defit in this Frog Isle lineup, and everyone kept saying it, and it turned into his name. Don't ask me how he got it in Game 1 already. As Clownfiesta in charge. 78%. Nice shoulder bash as well. Kamiker is dead. Simsalu trying to finish off Surretts. I think that'll go pretty swimmingly. And a triple kill. Oh, is he going to quadra kill right here?
Nah, he's going to chill.
Gets the heal. Nice shot. Oh! Raze kills him before.
Ooh.
He knew.
He knew.
He had trust.
He took a little not spill, I guess, because he soared right off the edge. But that's just, those moments I think are my favorite, where it's just like, oh, did they finally do something where they could shut down this 15-streak Eevee? No, they didn't. He just soars right back in. 24 streak there for Bolka as well.
Yeah.
If the support's not dying, you're having a bad time.
Right.
But it's not just the support that's not dying. It's everybody on Clownfiesta right now. The kills are coming out. They're flowing through. And I don't know where you need to start. I mean, 2-10 is probably the best start to look. Skye's not been what they wanted out of this draft. I like the experimentation, though.
Yeah.
Just because you're not going to be able to know whether or not you can make it work until you try it. But Kamikaze also not having the game of his life here.
Never know if you can fly unless you jump off him.
Locked down.
Tall building.
Exactly.
You know.
You know the trick to flying.
What?
You have to fall at the ground and miss.
Yeah, and miss the ground.
Yeah, you have to miss. You just, while you are falling, you have to miss.
Listen, Gore. That's why they say 99 so different from 100, because a lot of people can do the first part.
Yeah, no, they
It's
just...
that second part where you miss the ground that really
the trick
becomes a lot
to it
difficult.
is right before you hit, you have to forget you're falling. You have to trick your body.
It's a mental thing.
It's entirely
This is
a
like a
mental
Tony Robbins thing. Wow.
It is 100% true.
Are you
Trust me,
selling?
I've read it right out of the
Are you selling the
Hitchhiker's Guide to
secrets
the
on
Galaxy.
how to actually fly?
Yeah, no, there it is.
Can we go to your website or something and find it? Like
No, just read Douglas Adams.
goresword.com?
Goresword.
Soarwithgore.com?
That's how Evie does it. She needs the broom.
She went to soarwithgore.com and
Yeah.
got... Okay. All right, well, I guess that wraps up how
The
she was
one-on-one
flying
lessons.
and doing so well in this
Exactly.
matchup.
Teleportation's an advanced lesson, though.
Yeah, okay, well, we will save that for another time. Sending it back to the desk, Game 2 wraps up with Clownfiesta kind of making clowns of their opponents in this one.
To be clear, you should not go to soarwithgore.com because I don't know what that leads to.
Why don't you Google it right here live on broadcast?
That's a
and
great
just
idea.
see
Let's
what
screen
happens.
share the laptop.
And face the screen. So we just Google "I'm feeling lucky" at 2 and just go.
Oh no, because I'm feeling unlucky if that's what I'm googling right now.
Well,
But I think what's important to look at though is Clownfiesta find themselves up 2-0 here in the, what'd you say, 24 streak Eevee it was at the end of last game, and the Kinessa as well. It's a big 1-2 punch that's tough to deal with. Maybe the Sky pick falling a little flat.
you know,
maybe
we
on their
talked
side.
about how they had to take some risks, but this can happen. This is risk reward, man. Like, it either pays off or it doesn't. You get smoked
Right.
or you win the game, I guess, at the end of the day. They went for it 2-12, 2-8, 1-10, 1-7, 1-7. Clearly, it didn't work. But again, I still stand by the fact that I don't think Blazing Hussars are really going to have a chance if they go at it with very, just textbook vanilla comps. Like they have
I agree.
They have to throw Clownfiesta off balance. It's a very difficult task. If I had the answer, I'm sure I'd be hired as their coach. But I don't have the
Nick,
black
tell us,
and white
what's
answer.
the secret?
I don't know.
The
Be
secret.
gooder.
They're being gooder at the game. It's tough when Rays has a 19.5 KDA on the Kinessa. I mean,
That was an accident.
no, he meant to do it. That was calculated. Wow.
The accidental kill on this guy. She just walks out in front right as the trigger's getting pulled. That's unfortunate.
That's just
a
unlucky.
bad day, man.
Right. That's just a bad day.
Walking out of your house on a Tuesday and all of a sudden your brains are painting the wall behind you. That's tough. I feel for you, Scott.
Yeah, that's about as well as you can get there. Rays with a clean 4 kills in that last fight there. And honestly, just firing on all cylinders here. If we're going to replicate fully the first game, then Clownfiesta are going to need to win it here in this third one. But I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibility in this one. I mean, you kind of said it best. What's that?
If you were a betting man, I think you'd be
If I was a
safe.
betting man, I would put it on Ice Mines map 3. We'll see here in a second.
Well, you're a betting man. I saw you in Podrick for the throne, so you're the low odds kind of guy.
Stone Keep. Yeah. I'm the like pick 1 out of 100, put it all on one
You're
number.
just putting $100 on Podrick. If you lose, you lost $100. If you win, you're 10 mil.
Right. That's
Easy.
what I'm saying. Podrick for the throne. You heard it here first on the desk. Retroactive spoilers. If you weren't prepared to hear that. But Stone Keep is going to be map number 3 here, so not Ice Mines like set number 1. We are going to have an Inara Ash ban, and Makoa's coming out on the side of Clownfiesta, followed by a Torvald.
All the tanks. They
All the
gone.
tanks are gone. We've seen actually Ash a good bit here, so you imagine that Barrack will suddenly become one of the higher contested front lines as well as the Khan. Hussars are able to grab the Khan, so now it's on Clownfiesta to decide which way they want to go. It is going to be the Barrack. On Stone Keep, though, I mean, there's a lot of similar play styles. You don't necessarily see the Sniper or the Eevee as much, but the Cassie comes out here for Clownfiesta. So I think that's probably one of the stronger DPS here, DPS picks here on Stone Keep. The Bomb King still available, Drogus if they want to go that way, but the Hussars steal away the Genos.
Yeah, Bomb King is probably most likely here. A couple people play Drogos, but I'll be honest, I'm not super sold on it. Not a lot of people play Eevee here either, so I don't think that's necessarily on the table. I think the Pip is most likely the outcome for Simsilo in this game, though.
You got to be careful giving him that Pip. They're going to take the Fernando. We've seen
but with me in it.
Pretty okay success out of the Fernando here today. Not the best, not really the worst, but he's made his impact. He's been there and he's been tanking. He's held up his shield, and that's about all you can really hope for from Fernando. The Dama is going to be pick number 4, so the Pip is still on the board if that's the route that Clownfiesta are going to end up choosing to go. They take away the Ruckus, which I think is smart on their side. The Leon. Going over to the side of the Hussars as well.
Maybe a Zen.
So maybe both teams have a pretty good, solid starting 4 here. Nick's calling for a Zen. He's going to get the Bomb King. We expected that to come out on one end or the other.
I forgot about him.
Clownfiesta can go Pip if that's the direction they want to go, but is that the direction they want to go is the question.
Choose your words carefully, heathen.
There's a couple of CC immune ultimates that make it kind of difficult to actually land like a good evil mojo here. It's a lot of hard boxing matches to win as well, especially up against the Ruckus, up against Leon if she's got her ultimate, and Bomb King straight up 1v1 with Luminary. It's not many people that come out. I don't even think Pip can come out on top of that 1v1. So a lot of tough things that Simsilo was doing in game number 1 with the Pip that, you know, hopefully, I don't know if he'll be on the Tyra or the Cassie. I would guess Cassie if I have to, but Erase had such a good game on it earlier. I don't know. Tough to see where they're going to go.
Tough to see which direction they're headed, but 3-0 is on the horizon for them. Let's send it down to Evan and Gore to get Stone Keep underway.
All right, Stone Keep, one of my favorite maps to watch, and I think this is one of my favorite teams to watch. Clownfiesta really surging forward in this EU PML and ready to take control yet again with a pretty good lineup, but you know they've got to go against the Genos, of course, and a Bomb King. That's in a very, very dangerous position.
And it's Andrew Doodle's Bomb King. It's not just any Bomb King. It is going to be someone we know can play the King incredibly well.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, locking him down, probably Clownfiesta's like, that should be one of your #1 goals. Khan, Ruckus are going to be irritating to deal with, but if this Bomb King gets rolling, then you're in a bad spot.
I mean, that should have been a kill right there, but he was reloading during the time that Cruncy got pulled. Just a bit of miscommunication, and a raise slays Andrew Doodle, and now 2-2 shield is going to fall. He's got to wait till that's 50% to even use it again. This is the time he's most vulnerable, and they're going to lose Kamikaze on the point as well. 2-2 might just be getting the shield back, but it's at 50%. That's where it ends up being once it breaks and comes back. So this is just a lost point fight already for Blazing Stars.
I mean, 84, 87.
That's it.
Pushed back, locked down. Ovim's back at this point, so good luck displacing him. Even if you were able to touch, a nice lockdown coming all. And Blazing Stars, I mean, like you said, like early on, should have been a kill.
Yeah, they
because
had good
that
rhythm.
wasn't a kill, it falls through. I mean, even right now, it might end up falling through. At least they get rid of Cruncy, but again, it's one of those moments where it's like, cool, too late. The point's already been captured.
Right.
There's not really anything to be gained by that. Maybe you can get some ground and try to push back. But everyone on Clownfiesta recognizes the time to retreat, and they fell back almost immediately.
And that's what you need, though, as far as Blazing Stars to make the adjustment. They made a mistake, then they did it right the next time, and you just need to continue doing that in this game to have a chance against Clownfiesta. Ray's just getting the better end, the poke battle going his way, and here it is. Andrew Doodle now should collapse. Same exact thing. They've done it 2 out of 3 times now, and it has worked. Clearly, they were just off rhythm early on, and that just gives me a sense that, you know, maybe Clownfiesta are having to figure this out, because if that's 3 for 3, you know, this fight could have gone a different way on the point.
Maybe just taking a little bit too late, maybe taking a weird fight there for Volca, recognizing he won't be able to get out.
Yeah.
So he just tries to do whatever he can. Unfortunately, Maldamba damage, Ruckus damage, not quite equal, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. That gives Kamikaze a good chance to get good positioning. But they do still choose to fall back. I actually like the way Blazing Stars play this, because it's that awkward moment where you have to wonder, are we going to be good enough that we can push you into the base, get kills, and stop you from pushing this all together?
Right.
And I think with the way Blazing Stars are, not only the fact that you're down 2-0, but also just in general, you recognize, I don't think we can lock Clownfiesta down. Like, we need to play this more cautiously.
And good shots there from Defit. from Arrays onto Defit. And it's really because of Simsalu's mark. He has vision on him, and it's a team-wide vision. And that's one of the most beneficial things. There's just no sneaking it around. This payload's going to go in. Holy moly. They really thought they had some more time, didn't they?
They had to. I
don't know why you Hexafire there.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm
you
sitting
don't
here
think.
thinking. I'm just looking at this, and I'm like, someone was supposed to touch. And it was someone that wasn't Kamiker, because there's no reason Kamiker, because everyone on that team is trigger disciplined. They know not to pop that ult. And so the only reason he would have thrown that out there was because someone, maybe Toot was supposed to jump down and it just didn't go the way they expected it to. Maybe it was moving faster than they thought it was. Didn't have all the time in the world.
Well,
but
he died.
That's such a huge ult to lose at the end of a round.
Yeah, it was... I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, the only other two people were Andrew Doodle and Defit. So unless you're expecting them to drop down, Toot had died, and it was clear that he was dying through the pressure and the firebomb. Firebomb actually going into the back line. Kamiker, is he really isolated here? He hasn't looked behind him, but comms are a thing we cannot hear. Seems like his team is with him through time and space. Not going to find anything, and Ovum with a dome shield to respond on the point.
He's holding this angle. This is the awkward spot about losing your Hexafires. You don't really have the damage right now. There's going to be Barrick not escaping, so that's credit for the kill, but really the front line's putting the pressure onto him. And that's big. Getting rid of Ovum just in general on any champion is going to be comfortable, but getting rid of a Barrick, having to burn him down as difficult as it can be if you give him even just a second to react, it means that you at least alleviate the pressure. And with comeback mechanic, with having that fast cap enabled, you should be able to get to 100 pretty smoothly. It depends on this Fernando.
Ooh, and that's a great Immortal. It's going to save the lives of everyone on the side of Clownfiesta because the King Bomb was ready for Andrew Doodle, but the Immortal is done. And Defit and Kamiker have found all the kills, and that's going to be all the points. 2-1, and Blazing Hussars make some adjustments, and it works out.
And that was the best moment, I guess, for Blazing Hussars. They win the fight really by just keeping Clownfiesta off the point. That's all they needed to do. Clownfiesta separate 4-1. Ovum runs to the point. Unfortunately, Ovum's not in the Immortal. He ends up dying. And then, yeah, cool, you use the Immortal, but now you're too slow. No one's going to be able to touch over here. And the minute it lifts up, I think it leaves you with, what, 1,500 health? It's not a lot to walk away with, so it ends up going down pretty quickly thereafter. But then you get right back into this. This is the moment where I need to see Blazing Hussars step up. Like, this is where I want to see those good team fights come through. When you need to be aggressive. And
Tutu and Andrew have been roaming by themselves, working off the commander's grab. And that is the goal, to really isolate a target. A couple bombs, they're dead. And so they got overextended. And it's now Defit who's going to try and create some poke to apply some pressure. Now the entire team is actually looking to take the high ground. Maybe this is a bit of a flank. And he went for the stun, couldn't get it, unfortunately. He got stunned by the Damba instead. So Volca preempting what they knew they wanted to do. Maybe just a little bit too obvious as far as the game plan there. So they'll go back to the drawing board. Still got a minute left to try some things.
Double kill.
And try though they might, so far nothing's been collecting for them. It's nothing been clicking for them is the better way to word it. Blazing Hussars, all 5 ults. I don't expect to see a Hexafire used at the very end of this round unless that payload gets, well, about 2/3 of the way closer to Clownfiesta's base. Otherwise, right now, they're just trying to figure out how to get out of their own base. This is a defense from Clownfiesta, and it is pushing very, very hard. Blazing Hussars are getting shoved against a wall, and they just have to figure out how to fight back.
Yeah, and that's a, I think for the Fernando, it's a good use of resources. Although he loses that battle, he just buys another 10 seconds. Cruncy versus Kamiker there, that they're not pushing. Andrew Doodle has a raise very close. And he's just going to back off. Simslu is in trouble too if they want to get aggressive. But it seems like they aren't right now. Wary of the Cassie still and of any retaliation.
15 seconds remaining.
There's just so much patience from Clownfiesta. It just baffles me. It's one of those things that I feel like we get to see, and it's kind of stereotypical of the European teams that we've had in the past, where it's just they know how to wait, how to play it slow. Unfortunately for them, Blazing Hussars want to take it fast. That's going to be 3 quick, maybe 4 quick kills.
Yeah, they've done a great job of pacing out this fight. I mean, Clownfiesta were patient themselves, but Blazing Hussars kind of had them on the ropes, and they continue to do so. And this is like I said, a team that in that first round could have easily won if they had combined off of that commander's grab into the Bomb King.
Yeah.
So to me, it wasn't necessarily play. It was decision-making. Defit also, talk about him. He's been coming in new today for the roster. Had a great couple of moments. He's third in damage. And let's also mention how impactful Kamikaze has been on this Ruckus, finding those last hits and really putting the pressure on.
And being able to be that distraction and that aggressor without a Hexafire. Like, there was never a point where he wanted or needed to ult during that round, which was pretty impressive coming down from Blazing Hussars to put them in that kind of position.
Right.
Clownfiesta were just separated enough that everyone came down, but I mean, all 10 ults are available coming into this. Scout, not going to make a big difference. I'm looking at how this Immortal, how this Dome Shield are going to be used.
Right.
And if it's going to be enough or reactionary based on where that Hexafire goes.
I'm not sure. I think I would expect through time and space to be coming through. Ovum, he's going to dash away. And it is going to put him in a pretty interesting spot.
That's a good start.
But the aggression that he and the time that he spot has really helped Erase and, of course, Simsy to find a couple of kills. But Andrew Doodle's still alive. And Bomb King into Genos, I mean, that's a dream that can definitely topple some mountains.
Well, you use 3 ults to end up getting it. But you still have the Immortal, still have the Dome Shield. The things that are going to give you control of the point and make you feel comfortable and confident you have. Overpower, not going to connect with anybody, so 2-2 not going to be able to get a confirmed kill here. But that doesn't mean they can't get aggressive into it. Hiding behind that shield, Andrew Doodle, like, it's a force to be reckoned with on this Bomb King. But unfortunately, he has to be able to get in and try. Doesn't get the stun either. The Immortal is going to come through, and that's going to be great.
Yeah, but he's going to get taken down, and that's the thing with the beautiful Immortal. Although it saves a life, it eventually means that Andrew Doodle will kill Crunchy, but Clownfiesta in general are going to be the winner of this one, as it becomes clear with Ovum's nice emote there on the point. Actually, nice spray. That's a spray. And an emo.
A spree mote.
A spree mote. Oh
It's,
my god.
Something you only get if you're on a killing spree.
A spray mote, dude. A spray mote, and if he's on a killing spree, a spree mote.
A spree mote. And then you hit level 5. It's a very special version of your spray.
Yeah.
Like, I very typically use Gurk. And so I want to say, like, let's say the 5 streak, maybe 10 streak version of that would be like maybe put a little MS Paint crown on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It's a lot of work for the
artists.
artists.
You got to Gurk it good, man. Everybody from the OB60 days. It was all about Gurk.
Dave, and I guess we were actually, all 3 of us were playing at one point. And I threw that spray down, and he goes, what is that?
It says, Dave is before your time.
This was, some would say the dark days, but
it's always the darkest before the dawn.
And honestly, those sprays are...
Oh, and all's forgiven?
What I would say is probably one of the best things in Paladins.
Yeah, those sprays are pretty epic. I love it because it just tells a story, too. Nice overpower. That's going to throw some things out of the window, or maybe just out of the map here. Defense going to find a couple. Oh, a triple. And so that's good from him. We're going to just stall out Ovum as much as possible, but Ovum's going to get some damage off. You better be careful here. Ovum doesn't actually kill Andrew Doodle. So they're going to finally take him down. But all that time could have been used to zone a little bit, get some dismounts. Everyone on the side of Blazing Hussars, Clownfiesta now has some really good position. It won't be too long before the Barrack joins back up.
Especially mount speed, Barrack. Like, I mean, just on mount, I should say.
Mount speed,
being able to get back here. Like, he's already in the fight again. There's going to be a 3-time in space. Not going to be able to connect with anyone. Defit goes down. Barrack's taking a lot of damage, but it's Andrew Doodle who gets taken out.
Big time disengaged. Andrew Doodle almost had it. 2-2 by himself. He's going down. Kamikaze as well. Nothing Surets can do. Barely going to touch the ground. Grenade to get the kill. The firebomb to land. And the winner, Spree Mote from Ovum.
Well, he was the winner. That's a 3-0. I mean, that was Clownfiesta.
Good on
I
you,
feel like,
sir.
Again, Blazing Hussars,
Good
I have to
on
give
you.
them tons of credit because over the weeks, they've been doing nothing but just leaps and bounds ahead of where they were the week before. But this week, it was definitely like one of the tougher matchups. They still looked really good against a team like Clownfiesta. So, again, this week 6, 7 through 12, that's where I'm looking.
Pretty interesting stuff here. Our first 2 sets of Europe are over. We're heading to North America, but not before we break this down and take a little bit of a break ourselves. So let's send it back to the desk to get all that ready.
Thank you, guys. Europe is in the books for the day. And unsurprisingly, Clownfiesta take the win 3-0, but I think they said it best. The Hussars actually looked pretty decent, Nick. I mean, today was tough matchups for both All Business and the Hussars. You're going against the teams on the opposite end of the spectrum in Clownfiesta and Sour Team.
Right.
So I think things went probably according to how we would have guessed for the day, but I think even more so that important is Hussars made a pretty good statement that they're here to play.
Definitely. I mean, you look at the 100K from Doodle. He definitely showed up in a lot of ways. Ovum on the Barrack looking very, very good as well. Barrack players opening themselves up to being able to have more and more impact. And Ovum has always been one of the more aggressive front lines. And
Yep.
look at that, even with that little luminary buff, you know, doing a lot of damage. Love to see that from Barrack. And this is the Barrack gameplay that I don't mind. You know, just getting in there and then hitting the shots and mixing it up is a fun way to do it. Scoots the laser as well. And today just kind of felt, honestly, like console in that we came into it, kind of looked at the matchups and said, all right, this looks like it could be a pretty stompy day. And though they were both 3-0s, you're definitely still saying, all right, there was definitely a fight put up in a lot of these games. And there's a lot of moments that, you know, a little bit cleaner of a fight. Blazing Hussars could have been walking away with Stone Keep.
Well, I think the worst that we saw today was 4-1, I think, in set number 1, and then 1 here on Frog Island, set number 2. We didn't see any straight-up 4-0s today, so showing at least that they can hang with a lot of these teams, but just too much on the side of Clownfiesta. It's going to be an interesting matchup when we see Clownfiesta versus Sour Team again, because right now, I mean, they're matching each other 3-0 for 3-0, win for win. I mean, they're close in the standings.
Very close. Very, very close. The thing is, though, and it does help you with seeding, but at the end of the day, top 2 from NA and top 2 from EU are going to go to the MSI, so they're pretty much done and dusted. But we have seen, you know, what side of the bracket you're on, and seeding can have a very, very impactful, you know, end result for you in a lot of these big, big tournaments. This is going to be one of the biggest that we've ever done. Coming up in, I don't know, about a month and a half or so away from the MSI.
Yeah, it's true. Looking at the standings there, you saw it was Sour Team that had done it just a couple maps cleaner than on the opposite side. And then looking at, again, the opposite side, looking at North America coming up, we have essentially the same types of matchups on the other side. You have the top 2 teams who are 4-1 going against teams on the bottom side who are 1-4. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to jump across the Atlantic Ocean to North America, and we'll have some great games for you when we come back.
Brought to you by Skillshot, Hi-Res Studios, Evil Mojo, INAP, SteelSeries, Respawn.